Oh, here we go.
Okay, we'll call this meeting of the Historic District Commission of the Town of Groton, beginning at 7 p.m. December 20th, 2022, and I will seat John Goodrich for Todd Brady and ask him to be acting secretary for the night. And we will welcome our new member, Ted Keatsman.
Yep, Keatsman, yep.
For Eric Goodman, and we'll note for the record that Bill Ferguson is attending by Zoom. Okay, John, read the call.
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, December 12th, 2022. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, December 20th, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 22-63, 51-53 High Street, Paige Gulrick, owner applicant, retaining wall, PIN number 261-918-302167. HDC 22-64, 18 West Main Street, Jerome Properties, 8-22 LLC owner, Peter Springsteel applicant, carport, PIN number 261918412081. HDC 22-65, 29 Gravel Street, Karen Smith owner, Chris Vernat applicant, modify COA number 2403 and replace windows, PIN number 261918424113. HDC 22-66, 12 Ashby Street, James Dunnigan owner applicant, shed, PIN number 261806391716. HDC 22-67, 12 Ashby Street, James Dunnigan owner applicant, replace window, PIN number 261806391716. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website, meetings calendar, or can be attended via www.zoom.us, webinar ID 861-362-78132, password 025814, or by phone 1312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 12th day of December, 2022, Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
I'll ask for a waiver of the hearing procedures, which are on the table over there and orange, if anybody would address them. Okay, we'll call HDC 22-63, 51-53 High Street. Is anyone here for that?
No.
Could be.
That's the right address.
Hello? I'm here, Mark Ernst. Sorry, I'm having trouble with technology. I'm in my car.
Well, you're up. Want to make your presentation?
It's hard for me because I'm in my car. I'd be happy to answer questions if you wanted to go through the presentation.
Well, how far away are you?
I'm in a parking lot. I cannot
You're nowhere
attend.
close?
I cannot attend in person.
Okay. My feeling is we should postpone it.
So
I agree.
I think we forward. Yeah. There's nothing. He has no presentation.
No,
Right.
we sent a presentation in. We submitted a presentation.
Right, but you're not
Right.
there or able to computerize.
Okay, here it is. My wife's in emergency room right now, so I came out to be involved in this.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
He presented, they presented in the pre-app last week. You guys, last 2 weeks ago. And their package is in the file that was published on the agenda.
It's right next to you.
I can present it, I can hold it up. It's pretty straightforward.
My issue is it's not, and I feel sorry for his wife. It's not the rules.
Right.
And we've got an outstanding issue with rules right now. I think we have to abide by the rules and
What's the rules?
continue it. He has to present it.
Yeah,
Well, I can
this
hold
is
the
really-
paper.
This
so
is,
he can talk.
this is a little frustrating because we're trying to build a very stone wall that's very simple. It's very much what's acceptable in the neighborhood, and we have a little more time to build it before the ground freezes. And so
We did the
really
pre-app last time. So,
Yes.
I mean, if you're willing to, Bill's done it before in the past.
I mean, Mr. Ernst, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that your wife's in the hospital, and I completely understand. You know, without getting into the weeds, we're already in an issue right now where we try to do a favor for somebody that's causing a bit of a issue. So I'm not a fan of bending the rules for any reason. That's just me. I'll let the rest of the commission speak.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we continue it.
Okay, we have a motion to continue. Do we have a second? I'll second it. Okay, we'll do a roll call. John,
I vote to continue it.
I do also.
I vote not.
Bill,
yeah, I vote not as well.
not to continue?
Yeah, not to continue. Cause
Okay.
if Ted's willing to, cause like,
I can hold the papers, he can do
And
the
he can-
presentation.
yeah.
I've done that before. I can show, he can talk us through it. Mr. Page can talk, or his first name's Page, I thought, but anyway. He
That's
can
his
talk us
bye-bye.
through what he's gonna do,
It-
and I can hold
The fact that he did a pre-application meeting with you guys before, you're already familiar with it.
I know, I've seen it, it's, he's
well, I'll
right, it's
cha- I'll
very
change-
straightforward.
I'll change my vote and I'll say no to the motion. So why don't you go ahead?
here, I'll make a motion to not continue. Let's do it that way, so it's.
I don't think we have to do that. I think the 1 to continue failed.
It
Oh,
failed.
okay.
So now
okay.
now he's
Yeah,
presenting.
I just wanted to make sure we
Still has
follow.
to- Mr. Page still has to talk. I get
Okay.
John's point, but I'm not gonna
I can
talk
do
for
that.
him.
I just think it's opening him up to, if anybody wants to appeal it, you're putting the applicant in a bad position, and that's all I'm gonna say on it.
Right.
Well, did you hear that? Are you still, there? Is he still there?
I'm still here. Thank you.
So,
Commissioner Goodrich says it might be cleaner and better if you did it later. If that's your preference, you can do it later.
Mr. Ernst, personally, I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing up there. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. Like I said, I'm just trying to make sure we follow the rules just because it's caused an issue on another situation. So, I mean, personally, I love everything you and your wife, you and Paige are doing up there. It's not about that. It's just I'd be in a position where if somebody complains, then you guys are not in a position where you're protected. That's all.
Was there any
When-
alterations or modifications from what he submitted on the pre-app?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead? I understand your.
Yeah.
You want?
yeah, I
from the
understand John's
papers.
perspective, but let's do it.
For lines.
Okay.
Page, so you're gonna go through your file and
Sure. This is Mark, by the
Alright,
way.
yes.
My wife's name is Paige.
oh, sorry.
Page.
So yeah,
Corey,
state your
Mark.
name loudly for the group, because we're obviously thinking your name's not.
Yeah,
your-
that's fine. My name is Mark Ernst and my wife's name is Paige Gulrich.
Huh.
We are building, we built a garage and we've been re-siding the house. We've owned the house for a little over a year.
Around.
So this proposal we have now is we're building a small, really a grade change wall between the level change in the garage and the level of the house. And it's going to be like 3 steps. And it's the stone will match closely what's the foundation of the house and be aligned with in parallel on the north side of the house. And it's really to navigate a grade change.
Oh, I think I can just go straight to his pictures, huh?
Do we have in the record what the wall would be made from?
It's gonna, will be stone. You'll see there's pictures. This drawing shows the location of the wall, the dark line that's between the garage and the house. And then I think we have an elevation of the wall. And the elevation of the wall shows that it's essentially flush with the grade.
Gotta go the other way.
It's harder
flush
than
with-
it looks, everyone.
I know what the pictures are, but so you can see that it just really is a low, it's a wall that's flush to the grade to the south, and then steps down 3 steps to the house. This is a kind of a photoshopped image of the wall, so you can see that at most it's 24 inches tall, and it navigates.
it here,
runs-
right?
Yeah, runs east-west, correct?
And it goes back behind the,
And then.
Yeah.
And approaches as it approaches High Street, it really just ramps up to the point where it blends in with the existing grade. So it kind of disappears to the east.
it's similar to the existing. I think
Yes.
when I walked by the other day, I think it's very similar to the existing foundation stonework, isn't it?
Yes. We're talking to our contractor, and we may actually, there's a stoop we're no longer using because we used to have 3 doors or 4 doors, and we got down to 3 doors. We just may use that one as one of the base of the stone, and then using additional stone. There's a couple pictures of the actual where we're getting the stone. Our mason is getting the stone, and then there's a few examples of similar walls, just like we're doing in the neighborhood. The one on above is actually right across the street, and the one to the middle is another one that's on all 3 other examples on High Street. The one in the middle is good friends of ours wall, much steeper and much higher than our wall. Our wall is at most 24 inches. So that's really all we have. I think there may be one more picture of the actual stones, or maybe that's the one up in the left-hand corner where we actually went out.
Yeah,
and
it's on
scouted
there,
the
I think.
stones. Yep. So that's really all we're talking about tonight.
Any of the commissioners have any questions for the applicant?
None.
Does anyone in the audience want to speak in favor of the application? Okay, you just have to state your name.
You probably don't need it from us, but we Jake Dunnigan on 12 Ashby. This house will not corner for me. But well, I mean, you need your approval that really cares about what it looks like.
Okay, anybody in the audience want to speak against this application? Not hearing any. Okay, HC 22-63 is closed.
Please, Leanne.
HC
Yeah, if you're still, is he still there?
I'm still here.
You don't have to stay.
Okay.
We'll go through the other applications and then we'll vote on yours later. And so you're welcome to go back and
Yeah. Well,
see what's going on in the emergency room, I think.
she's in a long waiting room, so I'll just hang out and listen to the rest of it.
Okay.
All right.
HDC 22-64, 18 West Main Street.
Good evening, Peter Springsteel, architect. Representing the owner. This project, let's see.
Yeah, the permit.
18 West Main Street is the Central Hall project that's been ongoing for a long time. We presented this a little more than 5 years ago, got approval for it, and just never got around to constructing it. We went for the permit, but the application had expired, or the permit had expired. So we're here to essentially to renew that, re-show it to you. There's no change proposed here other from what we approved last time. This project is a carport that sits behind some of the other buildings on West Main Street actually fronts onto Gravel Street. You can see the piece right here. Oops. Carport, proposed carport right here. Essentially it is a metal frame structure with a canvas. That canvas cover will match up to the canvas awnings that are on the back of the building, Central Hall now. And this becomes the sort of entrance point for the residents in Central Hall building. All of the residential access points are on the back of the building, which this is. So this allows people to come up, park underneath cover, and drop off whatever it is they need to, and find their parking space from there. So permanent parking space is just a temporary for unloading and loading and for service vehicles and that sort of thing. There's a bit of a jog in the structure, which you probably won't see much of as you view this. And that jog is a result of negotiations with next door to not have so close to this building. See in this view right here, that jog. So that jog is on essentially the backside facing the buildings. So from there, you're not really gonna pick up on it. That's also reflected in the plan. Right here. So this is Gravel Street, and you drive in this way, and you see the column here, and then these two columns, this column offsets inward to get away from this property line over here. That was negotiated with the next door neighbor, and at the last time we submitted this, it was approved by the HTC to do it that way. So there's really no change here.
It's not the back of Central Hall, but where the jog is?
This is Central Hall here.
Oh, okay.
This is the public boardwalk. Okay, this is the stairway that comes off. There's a ramp there. Pump station
Then there's,
is here.
those are a bunch of things on that side,
Yeah, these are all
transformers and
transformers.
stuff.
Right.
On in the alley there between the other building and the people you're trying to stay away from, there's something behind there, like trash
Right.
cans
Right.
and
I-
transformers and stuff too, right?
I can't really articulate what the reasoning was.
Yeah, all
I
right.
wanted it further away, but they did. So
And Peter, so that's gonna be for like drop off, or is it gonna be assigned park?
we have parking at the pump station. We have parking behind 36 West Main. So we have 2 parking spaces for each unit. I don't think we have parking, but we do. So this is strictly drop off.
And there's nothing else for the structure other than the poles and the concrete. That's the side.
Correct.
This canopy, you said?
It's a some sort of synthetic product. It's similar to what we have on the awnings in the back. So
Yeah, all
it's very durable, but it looks like a canvas.
This shows though some railing of some kind.
There's some fencing, and that fencing's already up. That was installed a while ago, I guess,
Oh, okay.
before the permit ran out. But the structure was not.
And this fencing was there too.
Yep.
Fencing behind.
Yeah, that fencing's in place today. If you go down there and look at it.
And when you say metal poles, are we talking steel, aluminum? What's the finish
They're
gonna be?
aluminum, but we're gonna enclose them with AZAC, so they're a little beefier looking, and they've got a small little detail on them. And they have a cap and a base. Do this, so you can see the cap base moldings on those. There's a cupola on top, and then there's a little sign at the gable end. It says Central Hall. That's pretty much it.
And the cupola is made out of,
That is some sort of wood product that'll be a product, so it'll be really durable. The frame that's beneath the canvas awning.
okay. Any other questions from any listeners?
I don't think he needs to address it tonight, but is there gonna be a need for signage that says, temporary parking or drop off only or anything like that? Again, I don't think it needs to be addressed tonight, but I think it should be put on the radar, because we don't want, out of
We
towners.
want other-
Yeah, and I think when we went to the planning commission, they also asked for that, and there's every reason to need it there.
Yeah.
So that will be, we will have some signage if you want us to come back and review that before we get it installed. We're happy to do that.
Do we have a list of materials? I know you articulated them.
There's a little bit right now, Peter. There's a chain and a sign that says, hangs there and says, this is for the something.
Yeah, I'm sure the chain will come and go depending on who's running the show there.
Right.
But there will be signage, no doubt. The materials are called out on the section sheet, right?
All right, anybody in the audience want to speak in favor of the application? Not hearing anything. Anybody want to speak against the application? I'll declare the record closed for HDC 22-.
You want to keep these? There's
Same as what you submitted?
there's one additional image here that's not on there.
Yeah, we might as well.
So I'll give you that one sheet.
Yeah.
A bit older. I know.
You can hand it over. There you go.
Maybe you should just initial this because it's not in the record already.
Yeah, that was all that.
Yep. For one sheet. For just stamp one sheet.
So there's a 10 there. Stamp.
Town of Groton exhibit number.
Yeah.
20.
Thank you.
Okay, HDC 22-65, 29 Gravel Street.
I'm gonna hand that over right here. I'll stamp it. Put it over here.
Christopher Knott, architect for 29 Gravel Street. And we're here tonight to modify the HDC certificate of appropriateness number 2403. We'd like to change window manufacturers from a Marvin clad Ultimate. And in addition to that, I have literature for the Marvin Ultimate. It was also submitted, so if you need to do that. Site plan, the house, location, and gravel. In addition to chain window manufacturers, which we received approval for in the past, we also approval to put new wood shutters on this portion of the house here to the south, which is new construction. It was pointed out during the pre that maybe it wasn't clear that we had gotten approval for the main house as well. So I just want to clarify that tonight that we are seeking to change the wood shutters on the main portion of the house. It's a like for like material, wood shutter for wood shutter, matching all details. Similar same hardware that's on the house that mounts the shutters. So I just wanted to clarify that. So looking at the elevations.
That's in your application, what you just drew.
Correct. These large notes here, I'll read one, HDC application replacement unit in main house with windows specified on sheet A32 and wood shutters specified on sheet A32.
It's only on that front facade, Chris, not the ones.
Correct. We've got approval in place for
For
this here,
those.
for all new windows, all new shutters,
That was priorly approved.
prior under the HDC
okay.
2403. And I look back and it may have been sort of gray as to whether we sought approval or had clarification on replacing the wood shutters on the main house. So I just want to clarify that tonight, we would like to do that, wood for wood, same detail, and change out the window units on the main house. Right now, they're older windows. They're a mix of mutton bars on the old windows. Some are 5/8 thick, some are 3/4 thick. All the windows have some panels on them, so you don't really see the windows that well. There's 5 vinyl windows that will be replacing as part of this package, so making that much more historically appropriate, improving the energy efficiency of the house. So we're getting close to a tight timeline ordering the windows. And so we're back tonight to get approval for all windows in the main house.
The question was whether the approval, whether you requested approval for the windows or just the shutters that you already approved for the window for the other house too?
For the addition part of the project that we were in on the past, it's the whole south end of the
Yeah.
house and into the backyard. We received approval for windows and shutters. And at that time, it was low-end windows. So we're seeking to modify that to change low-end to a Marvin Ultimate, clad Ultimate. So it's a metal clad exterior painted. And then in the new, in the main portion of the existing house here that faces the road, we want to replace all windows with Marvin clad Ultimate and also replace all wood shutters with wood shutters.
For placing the windows in the old house.
Right, we had approval for this here. We had approval for this.
Okay, all right.
Pre-app, not that it's our purview, just a question. Aren't you replacing all the windows, the ones in the back also, or not?
We are,
Okay.
yes.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Anybody in the audience want to speak in favor? Anybody want to speak against? HC 22-65 is closed. You know, you can wait around.
Sure.
C 22-66.
I have a color copy. I have black and white, and I don't know if it's gonna do the same thing. And 66 is the shed or the window?
66 is the shed.
Okay, great. We have color copies. We like to use those.
For this, yeah, just so you can, it's a little bit better, but if you want to take a look. You're good?
I'm good.
Sure.
Or you can hold on to it.
Yeah, you got it. So, and that you like. There we go. All right.
Oh, you're so much better at it.
I used a mirror weld. So I'm trying to put a shed in, 8 by 12, little under 12 feet, actually, over an existing shed site that was 8 by 10.5 or so. Just a gable roof to match that my house is the same style, gable with vertical in the gable itself, and then horizontal going the rest of the way, with an Anderson window and a door I'm going to make out of pine.
You have the materials.
Those are all the materials and you're building it all yourself.
Yeah. Yep. I don't have a job, but I do have hands. So yeah.
We got fixing your house right now.
Yeah. No, so we're gonna do cedar for the horizontal stuff, and then the vertical stuff, because there's gonna be a little bit of overhang. I think we're gonna get away with pine, but either way it'll be wood. And then
You did like a spreadsheet or like they can sell with all your.
Yeah.
Tell us that.
yeah, sure. So that's the site where it is now, and that's sort of what it's gonna look like. My Photoshop skills aren't exactly there.
But that's, you can see it from the others. Do you own all the way down to the other street?
We certainly do. We're interested in a half acre. No?
No, no,
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, so we go
So that's
Ashby
you
to Lathrop.
photoshopped it in right there, right?
Yeah, right. So, and that's right above where it's a little bit quirky because you could still see the bottom of the model, but that's where the foundation is. And that's approximately to scale. I mean, it's tough to do trying to match a
Yeah.
photo, but we don't think it's very much from the view you got
Is it
there,
visible?
but
Is
go
it
ahead.
visible from Ashby?
no, so I have this concrete wall built, this concrete wall right here, built sometime in the 60s or 70s. Stories we hear from neighbors are that everybody just got wheelbarrows and backfilled a bunch of junk. So I'm nervous to dig into it, but I think they might have used it for a parking space before they raised the street. Right now we can't pull off because there's like a dip from the street to my front yard. But
Yeah.
before they had repaid it a little more. So you might be able to see the roof maybe, and if you were going the wrong
Yeah.
way.
It's a really
down-
steep drop. The
Yeah,
picture doesn't show it as steep as it.
yeah, how much, right, we live on a cliff.
Actually, I forget the name of the
Latham,
Latham, right?
yeah. Walking or bike riding the opposite way of traffic through the trees. But you wouldn't really have Latham, it's gonna be right in your face.
Gotcha.
This view here is gonna be right in your face.
Okay.
I mean,
I just don't want us to run into people saying we didn't look at it from all street levels.
okay.
Yeah.
You want me to amend it or
Do you mind?
can I do like a conditional, like you're good and,
What do you,
or?
what's the question? It's from Latham. I mean,
Right, I'm just,
I see where Bill's going.
so what do you mean? What's the
Yeah, 'cause
objection though?
it's one whole structure. We already know what it's made out of, what it looks like.
Right, we just don't have the other street views, and that is another hot button on this commission recently.
Latham.
Yeah, but we don't have the view from.
view from Ashby.
And if
Well-
I'm correct, you're coming down Noank Road, you can kind of see it for a second too, can't you, or no?
Do you have the other, is this the next one?
No, the next one's here.
Yeah, if you don't mind, there's a picture of the front of my house and it might assuage you of any worries.
Let me get clear. It's not like it's a chain link fence.
Okay, no, I know, I'm just
No, but
covering all our bases.
So if you,
It looks like an historic, made out of historic materials.
it's
I think
probably,
there used to be a shed there. I think you're
this,
supposed to talk so much now.
of course you can. I mean, if my shoes, and I was gonna kind of save this, I'll say it now.
Yeah.
I think when we don't follow the process, we do a disservice to the applicants and the board, because it doesn't make our decision final or complete. And I think that's what everybody's trying to do. We want to make sure we're not wasting anybody's time here, especially the applicants.
So where would the shed be in relation to this picture?
so if you're looking, so it's, I thought I had a view of this, but this is the view of my house from Ashby, and this is like you can see the Stonington side of the river from Ashby Street right over where my shed, you look over where the shed would be. The drop there is probably 16 feet.
So.
You
I
will,
You can see it if you want. If you're looking for it, you'll see it.
So
I
see,
hear,
I see what looks like a propane tank and maybe it's not. So right behind the,
it is.
and so
No, so
the,
it's not even, so 2 more feet past that propane tank, 16-foot drop off, and the shed's beneath that, like right up against that drop off.
okay, all right. And we'd only see the peak of the roof.
If you, you would even see that. The only other way,
How tall is the shed?
oh, this guy asking the questions that I had prepared answers for.
Expect Nothing less from you.
158 inches and 9/16.
So it's. I had it right, there we go. So basically what, 12 feet? Quick math.
120 is 10, so, and 13 foot 2,
With
yeah.
a 16-foot drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, it's a moot point then.
I think that answers our question.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not worried anymore, but thank you.
You see, you're probably falling side of his cliff.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah.
Can we get a safety?
Yeah. Yeah, so the concern I thought having, is just about the concrete columns underneath holding it. I'll probably have maybe a foot exposed, but I can cover those with a skirt if it ever becomes an issue.
Okay, any other questions from any commissioners?
No.
Anybody in the audience want to speak in favor? Anybody want to speak against?
Oh,
Not
my wife,
Any?
speak in favor? No, okay. All right.
I think her smile,
Smile.
her big smile kind of.
So HDC 22-66 regarding the shed is closed. We'll open.
Nope. Wrong.
HDC 22-67.
Next one.
You're gonna look at this one too?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah,
It says replace window. but
It's, yeah, replace the door with a window. So same exact lot. And the only real view of concern is under the overhang here. And again, this is the Photoshop skills all the way. Okay, come on. There we go. This is a door here, goes into my kitchen.
It's the front door on the right side.
Yeah, on the north side. And we were looking for a place to put a half bath. And this is really the only, we did a million configurations of the house. We can't figure out where else to put it. So rather than having a door right into your bathroom, we want to put a window there. It's an Anderson 200 series clad. And that's provided as well.
It matches the house. I remember from your.
Yeah, it matches all the windows in the front of the house and the windows, all the other windows you see here.
Do you have plans for the walkway that goes to the door?
No.
And that doesn't have anything to do with anything. I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah, no. So what we want to do eventually, and we'll be back here for this, is that drop off. We'd like to extend our deck so that when we have people over, they can go right onto the deck from that side there.
From the right.
Well, if you're facing the house from the left. So
Okay.
the propane tank will move.
Okay.
We'll move the propane tank.
So it'll still be a usable thing to get to the back.
Yeah, you'll get to the back. You can, maybe we'll have a bench out there or something. At the moment, it's
It's a little out of scope. I'm sorry, I was curious.
no, and in our sort of renovations, it became very clear that overhang is not original to the house anyway. So
Oh, on the left. there.
yeah, that there is
Yeah, it doesn't look creative.
right a creation of probably we were gonna make a real good guess, but I did have a question. I submitted a 53.5 inch window, which matches the bay that we have in the front. I'd like to change that to a 42, which is the same as the kitchen window that's right here. Just because we started thinking about it, and a 54-inch window in a bathroom is actually going to be pretty low. I don't know if that's possible to do. If not,
Yeah,
and we can get approved today.
I think you just write it on there and initial it, right?
Yeah,
All right.
Well done.
and write it on there and initial it and submit it tonight.
and if I'm not mistaken, he's going to need a permit to move the propane tank.
Yeah, we're
Okay. just so-
at least one paycheck away from.
so you're aware.
Yeah. I'll have to. Questions?
Any other questions from the commissioners? Not hearing any. Anybody from the audience in favor besides the smiling wife?
It's a lovely Christmas sweater.
Anybody speak against? Not hearing any? HDC 22-7 regarding replacement of the door with the window is closed. Okay, so now we're at the consideration of public hearings.
Okay, and then check them off. I
I'll
sign,
give you the COA number.
and the date, do I sign anything or just that? Just check?
You gotta sign it.
We do the
Yeah.
vote on the hearings before we do the pre-apps. Through everybody else. Okay, consideration of HDC 22-63, 51-53 High Street regarding a retaining wall. Is there any motions?
I move to approve.
Any second?
I second.
Roll call. John?
So, like I said, I'm a big fan of what they're doing up there. I think they're doing a fabulous job with the house. I like the wall. From here on out, if it doesn't follow the rules, I just don't believe we should move forward. I think the service of the commission and the applicant, because it opens them up for problems, as we've seen with some past decisions, and I don't want to keep talking about the past. So for that reason, I will abstain.
I vote aye.
I vote aye.
I vote aye.
Okay, the application is approved. HDC
47.
HDC 22-64, 18 West Main Street. Jerome Properties. Any motions or other considerations? I'll move to approve.
Second,
John?
I vote to approve. I think it looks well done. Complete application. I'm good with it.
I'm Nevinson, I vote aye.
Keatsman, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
The application is approved. HDC 22-65, 29 Gravel Street. Modify the previously approved application for changing the name of the manufacturer of the windows, and also make clear and clarify that he's going to replace all the windows in the original structure of the older part of the house.
And were there shutters involved as well?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and he's approved for the shutters, or he's requesting approval for the shutters. Any motions or,
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
okay, John?
I vote to approve it. I think it's well done and it very ties the house and look good with the neighborhood, all that. So
I'll vote to approve also because I think it just makes it all consistent with what's already been approved.
I approve.
Bill?
I approve also because of consistency.
Okay, HDC 22-65 is approved. HDC 22-66, 12 Ashby Street Shed. Any motions or questions?
I move to approve.
I second.
Okay. Already got John for a second, Bill.
Oh, okay.
sorry, Bill, I'll let you do the next one. I'll shut up.
Man.
Okay, John, how do you vote?
I vote to approve. It's well done. Matches the house. Very complete application. Thank you.
Okay, Levinson, I vote to approve for the same reason.
I agree. I approve for same reasons.
I approve. Excellent job.
Okay, HDC 22-66 is approved. HDC 22-67, the replacement of a door with a window.
I
I
motion
move to
to.
approve. Oh,
I
go
sec-
ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I second.
Okay,
Ted's
If you
got.
second 3 times, is that a 6?
Exactly. I sixth it.
okay, John,
Again, I vote to approve. on the condition of that what he wrote and initialed on the smaller window.
Levins and I vote to approve. Also, it makes sense. As someone who once had a condo with a window over the bathtub, kind of looking for trouble, but whatever.
Your neighbors like
Better
it,
than,
huh?
better than the door.
I approve. Keith.
Bill,
And I approve, also noting that he made a handwritten adjustment that is absolutely fine, but just noting that that's there.
HDC 22-67 is approved. Anybody here for pre-application? Nobody signed in, so nobody.
They would be here too. You guys are,
Here, anybody online?
do you have pre-apps you're gonna do?
No, no. That's a, that's a, yeah, nobody out there.
You don't want to just like talk to us in the future, maybe? Bounce some ideas off of us.
The next gonna be a whole thing.
Okay, well, I'll close the hearing at 7:45. And going back to the agenda.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Any public communications?
No, it's probably just going to do, I don't know when you want, Tom Zannery gave the report of the update of the enforcement actions, so I don't know if you want to do.
Yeah, or do our old business, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, there's nothing for public communications.
Approval of the minutes from December 6th.
I got a correction for you guys to consider.
Expect nothing less, Ted.
I can show it on the screen if you all want to see it.
Sure.
Maybe it'll prompt your memory. Again, going by the guidance given before, to be a little bit, that they should make sense, I guess. Which way will it go?
Flip it around so we can read it.
So you can read it. I can't read it this way, though. All right, there it is at the top. It was Leo Roche's sign. The minutes have a sentence. I think we should delete the whole sentence, that he will also locate a wall sign on the Pearl Street side of the building. And that was not on his application or discussed on the video,
Correct.
so it was in the notes from the minutes from before. He might have talked about it at one point and submit that to us, and in case it comes back, like John says, and he says, hey, I was gonna put a wall. He didn't talk about that during the meeting that got approval for the sign that he's hanging
Right.
out.
Sign, you're correct. That was never approved.
So I think that sentence out of the minutes to avoid confusion.
So you just make a motion to accept deleting that one.
Yeah, or man, how procedure is.
Yeah, just make a motion.
I make a motion that we amend the minutes to delete that sentence. Do I have to say what the sentence
With your motion, you're making a motion to approve the minutes.
with the modification of this deletion? And I just, the only technicality I want to get is that Linda sees what I'm saying and knows what sentence I'm referring to.
If you recorded,
She's on there.
Yeah.
She's listening.
Good with that?
Well, you did the motion, is there a second?
I second it.
How do you vote?
Vote to approve the minutes
It's amended, right?
as amended.
So Peter?
I do too.
I
Bill?
do as well. I do as well.
Okay, so the motion is sustained and because it's amended.
I did it that way just in case any of you had some other remembrances of the meeting, but I might have been off base.
Yep.
Good catch.
All right.
Okay, old business.
I just handed those, he's got to give you copies. So this is Tom Zannerini. It was requested that he report on the enforcement actions of where they're at. So these are the three that we have enforcement actions.
Bill, you want us to read it to you, or we want to have Peter try to put it upside down?
Yeah, can someone just throw it on that screen, please?
Then I'm gonna have some question on the Orchard Lane one, but whenever we're ready.
Get close.
Other way, other way.
She's always go the wrong
Two or
way. And
two.
then
There you go.
Perfect, thank you.
anything for you, Bill.
It's a great birthday present, thank you.
Here it says on Orchard Lane, the owner is currently considering options.
An update to present.
She's missed 2 meetings. I mean, this has gone on a year since we got
Actually,
it.
in this one meeting.
This is the second one. We were going to send her an email. for
Right.
minutes.
Well, no, he contacted her to find out where the status was.
So what's the time frame? A year since we got our first complaint.
It depends how the commission wants. I mean, it depends how aggressively they want to go. They want to work with people to try to get them to work to approve it, or do they want to go harsh?
I
mean,
yeah, I should wait to see what she presents. Give her a little more time.
So I would say, I'd like to put a motion forward that we give her till the next meeting. And if we don't have options by was that January 3rd meeting?
Yeah.
Then it moves to enforcement action. I think that's reasonable.
That's the motion. Any seconds? Not hearing any. Fails.
Okay.
Any other questions or
I think
statements?
John's right to give her a time frame. I just don't think next meeting is the right time frame.
What do you think for a time frame, Bill?
I would say a month. You know, like
Would you,
February, the first February meeting.
then I put a motion forward that she has the first February meeting before it moves to enforcement.
And second,
I'll second that.
John,
Aye.
this is approval of the motion as ended. I vote aye also.
Enforcement, or that it goes to, there's no more discussion on it, it's over. I mean,
Correct. They give her 6 weeks, and if there's no plan, then it goes to enforcement.
She was supposed to be working on trying to provide some way to the issue.
so I just want to get the wording right. So she shows up within a month and gives a good plan, and then there's no enforcement. Or
Correct.
if she doesn't show up
Here's a
within
good
a month,
plan, then yeah, then it would be,
Then we,
right.
Correct. That's my
Even
interpretation.
if it goes to enforcement, it's not gonna happen overnight. So
Right.
she's gonna have opportunity.
To exhaust all the resources, yeah.
All right. Any other questions on this memo?
you got the wording right for the minutes.
I think we do.
Okay, good.
all right, so we got a vote on it. We have 2 and
Do we do a, yeah, where are we? I just wanted to make sure I understood what we're saying.
We're just basically giving her till the first meeting in February to show up.
correct.
Present For you guys to make a decision on.
I think that motion was approved if I.
Okay.
Then I'll send out a memo to her immediately
We
to.
voted on it. That was getting clarity. Voted.
Yeah, all right, so we have,
Now
Only
we-
only two votes have happened. Ted and I haven't voted yet.
Ed?
Yeah, I approve, I guess, or whatever the
Sorry,
affirmative.
I don't even know if I approved it. So I approve it also to the first meeting in February.
I approve as well. I approve as well.
Okay. Motion carries.
then 39 Pearl Street, Peter, wrote that one. So it looks like second notice of violation. We have nothing from the owner.
Get mailed after owner failed to apply for the COA after 30 days.
Okay, so where are we on that one?
We're at the second notice of violation. At that point there, it makes a determination where you want to go after them at that point.
First, I'd like to make an amendment to the spelling of Pearl.
Pair.
This is it.
I'm not familiar with this fence or this problem, so
It's
you guys,
my understanding, and Chairman Kirkland, it's a vinyl fence that was installed without a permit. Is that correct?
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I believe that's the one
Yeah.
that Eric pointed out.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so there's nothing for us to move on. Just
The status, that's the status where it's at.
Right, I was gonna say, we can't really do anything.
Great. And for Rachel,
Yeah, it was reviewed. He's made a few minor alterations. The owner's been notified. Tom's talked to the owner. And the owner or his architect is going to be submitting an application to come in for an amendment.
Do we have a time frame for that?
He was probably, I'm surprised he wasn't here tonight because he was actually, he doesn't mess around. He wants to get in and get it squared away.
Can we give him a time frame? Or just same thing by February 1st, he gives us a plan.
how significant? is-
Well, technically, He's got 5 years to comply,
Okay,
and he doesn't even have a CO on the building.
okay,
Oh, he's in the process of
All
building
right.
right now. We just caught it at the framing part, that there was some minor alterations. that He basically, he removed a few windows that were
I
approved.
was gonna say, he moved and removed windows from the original plan.
Right, correct.
okay.
Is this the castle on the hill?
Yes.
Big blue.
Justin, Peter and guys, some of you think I'm wrong. We've seen projects on, near the library drag on. So I just, in my line of work, and I'm sure everybody else's, we have deadlines. and
I think of 5 years for, approving the COI.
Okay,
Okay, any other old business?
I think one, old business.
I should say 5 years to complete work from the COA. That's what it is.
Okay, so I guess we're ready to move on to new business. New business?
I have two things I'd like to bring up.
Okay.
So first of all, you guys probably know, I kind of regularly talk to SHPA and Preservation Connecticut. Come to find out, there's a number of state programs to help people that live in the historic district. For example, on approved repairs of your house, you can get a tax, it's not a tax credit, you actually get it dollar for dollar as a tax return, up to 30% of what you spend on approved repairs. Yeah, I know. I'll call you. But seriously, there's a number of grants. And I mean, my feeling is people that buy in a historic district are taking on about the labor of love. They're put through a stricter process with us. Sometimes fixing and preserving the house costs a little more than it would to do a new house. And our state has these benefits available to them. And I think it behooves us as a commission to make them aware of these benefits. So Preservation Connecticut actually does a workshop. I've already talked to Town Manager Burt about it. He said, just as long as it's a state program, we can do a workshop. We can't, be like, Joe's discount, whatever. It's got to be a state-run program. We have to vote to approve a workshop. They can do a workshop in probably 2 months or further out. So I would like us to approve that Mr. Burr allow us to do the workshop, and we can invite our residents of the historic district and make them aware of all the programs out there by the state. So I'd like to put a motion forward that we authorize that.
Is there a second?
I just want to just save the whole motion and.
Motion to allow Town Manager Burt to allow us to set up a workshop with Preservation Connecticut showing all the state programs available to owners of properties within the historic district.
I second.
Peter, is there other building officials that might want to attend such a workshop, or?
I think it's more of a citizens. It's basically what you're trying to do for the
Okay,
community with
The
the,
greater community.
how you want to move forward with it.
so maybe we'd have to do some kind of public notice or.
Right, so if we approve the motion, I was gonna talk to John
Yeah,
about it, and I was gonna ask if you guys
Yeah,
want to be the
maybe that's
lead
what I
on
was-
it, I'll
It would be a public hearing anyway. Everything.
Yeah, it's the wording's really to pursue it, right?
to pursue it and
Because then we might find out it needs,
right, report it
Have-
It
next.
takes time to get set up.
takes approval or money or council, or somebody else, there's steps to go through, I'm
Correct.
assuming, and so.
Permission to approve and report at the next meeting.
Yeah, see what's next.
So
I mean-
we clear what the motion is?
Yes.
I think I know what he's saying, but I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I would like,
to get.
I'm putting a motion forward to pursue having a workshop for our residents on what the state programs are to assist them. If the commission is okay with that, I will spearhead it and report at the next meeting on what next steps are, or if there are no next steps.
To reach out and come back with information.
Yeah, reach out, come back with information. Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Second,
Yeah, I second it.
okay, John,
I,
Levinson, aye.
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 Bill,
Aye.
motion passes. Any other new business?
yes, I'd like to put another motion forward. Also along those lines, there's something called the Certified Local Government Program. It's through, again, the state of Connecticut and State Historic Preservation Office, Department of DEEP, whatever that is. So what it does is it basically, if we become what's called the CLG, Most historic districts are, just so we know, the city of Groton has got a CLG, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, designation. It basically allows us as a historic district and as a town to apply for grants. That would help us, for example, writing our new manual, if we need to hire experts to help us with it that we don't have, allows us to apply for grants for signage. A lot of expenses that would come that the town would have to incur to expand the historic district or do more. It allows us, it gives us grants through both the state and Department of Interior. John Burt does have to apply for it. He, according to State Historic Preservation, is the one that has to fill out the application. So I would like to put a motion forward that we apply for our CLG status and have John fill out the paperwork.
And CLG stands for?
Certified local government.
So does this commission have to fill out paperwork to get to John to submit?
I'm not sure, so I'd like to authorize John to do it. Then if John needs that paperwork filled out, what I was told is we just have to vote to approve him to do it.
Okay.
Is there any requirements that we have to meet in order to be certified?
So the only extra requirement we have to meet that we don't do now, that's a good question, is we have to keep a copy of a local historic district property study. So we have to keep a list of all the historic properties that are in our historic districts by address. And if any are added or taken off, we have to update it. That's the only thing we don't properly have at this point.
But that
That's
seems
separate from
easily-
historic district registration, correct?
I think we could probably use it. We just have to name it as that, and we have to update it annually.
Right.
Either add or take away.
All right, so your motion is just to, just clarify your motion,
Is
just to pursue it.
To pursue it and request that John Burt apply for it. Oh, and this, I'm sorry, the second thing we need that we don't do presently is somebody on the board has to be the CLG coordinator. So we just have to, just an extra position. Those are the only two things we would have to add that we don't presently do. Like I said, the city of Groton is presently a CLG, their Eastern Point Historic District.
I would look into maybe the state registry to qualify it for paperwork being in place to have designated historic homes.
What's that?
The state registration that's already there, people that registered their property,
Yeah.
that should be one you should be able to pick up pretty quick.
Yep.
That should work.
Between that and the National Historic one that was done in the 70s. All we have to do is we have to put it into a new format and we have to review it and update it and submit it to the state annually. That's the only thing we don't do. So I think like we voted to take that one property out of the historic district on Ice House Lane. Had we been that, then on our annual report for 2022, this property removed. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
John?
Aye.
I give a qualified, I just am a little concerned since we have two of our serving members not here
That's true.
to commit the Historic District Commission for something of this nature. So I would like to see the motion postponed till we have a fuller membership.
I'm actually okay with that. We can postpone it to the next meeting.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it was just a pursuing, it wasn't an instituting of, but yeah.
So do we have a motion to,
Yeah.
on the floor right now, we had a motion.
Let me amend my
Do we have a
motion
second or
to
no?
continue it to the next meeting in all fairness to Todd and our Eric.
But I'm also hearing that you're willing to do some legwork on it between now and 2 weeks. I mean,
But it sounds like it's more a commitment. I mean, if you're going to ask the town to fill out
to
the
apply for
paperwork,
something.
you don't want them to do that and then come back to us and say, oh, we don't really want it
You wanna
anyway.
do it?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it'd be a waste of John's time. And once John fills out the application, then it starts the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get it, going for the beginning of the year, but 2 weeks,
I
2
guess-
weeks ain't gonna kill anybody.
What's the downside, though? I
You
mean,
could say it commits this commission
it
to
does
do the
doing
annual-
some work.
the annual
Yeah.
report.
Yeah. All right.
So that's the motion is amended. I'll second it. John,
Okay,
I say aye.
To postpone for 2 weeks.
Excuse me, hello, I'm sorry, I'm not following. So you made a motion and now you're amending it. Would it make sense to withdraw it?
Yeah. I think
yeah,
that's better.
actually, I withdraw my
Just-
motion.
just-
Thank you,
Yeah,
Linda.
and just bring it up again in 2 weeks and it makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, All right. Thank you,
And then you
Linda.
can explain it and all that.
Okay.
If you have anything ahead of time too, I don't know if is that allowed to send us something to read,
Informational packets for something like that.
you know,
What
before
I
the
would do
meeting,
is
John.
send it to staff.
Yeah, so I'll do it for the next meeting.
I mean, I think they're a great topic.
Yeah.
So my point, John, is I think they're both great ideas, but I'm like, I feel like I'm doing, like I have to decide right now. And
We can wait.
Motion withdrawn.
in the earlier one too, just to see, so I have time to contemplate it a little more
Right.
thoroughly than getting it
Just
at the
get it
meeting.
thrown at you.
Say,
Yeah.
Or now, you know, make a decision on whether it's good to pursue this or not. When I just read it, I'm a slower thinker.
Well, I think on his first motion for the first thing, it didn't commit us to anything. It was just for John
To go
get
fact
further
finding.
clarification.
Right.
Right.
I understand about the logistics of getting a workshop that would benefit the local homeowners. Is what I.
Right, so what I'll do now is I'll tell John that we voted to approve it. I'll contact SHPA. They'll say, okay, our dates are blah, 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 blah. You know, we can do it in February, March, April. I'll talk to John about that, see
Right.
when, because we probably want to have it at Thrive 55, so it's big enough to hold everybody. Set that up the next meeting. I'll be like, okay, here it is. Here's our 3 dates, and we can vote on it from there. Does that sound fair?
My only hesitation is like how we're gonna get the word out, or how we're gonna publicize, or who's gonna pay for that. I start to anticipate lots of questions. But when we talk about it right here, it just sounds all good. But my experience with planning things is that all of a sudden the details start to snowball and you're going like, oh, I didn't think of several things that I wished I'd thought of when I committed us to doing this.
Ted, we can
How
ask,
does the town? Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, we could ask the day to do an article about it
Yep.
to help spread the word. We could ask the town to take maybe a small, I don't know, ad or something, public
Yeah,
notice.
yeah.
I don't know what kind of funds are available for that.
Right. I mean, I'm just trying to address Ted's concerns. But
My only concern is feeling like it's happening too fast for me to sort of fully digest and feel comfortable with, yep, I'm all in. I think I'm all in based on what I heard.
Sure.
Well, I think at this point, all we're
I
hearing.
only heard about 10
he's-
minutes ago,
I
right?
think what we're hearing at this point is that he's gonna look forward for information to put forward a workshop in probably like 2 months from now, 3 months from now.
Correct.
So it's a ways
Right.
out.
So I'm quite comfortable if it's sort of in the planning stage, it's where I
Yeah.
could, my uncomfort comes for how far ahead are you in your excitement to making it happen? And I don't really know what it is
You know,
yet.
one of the other reasons too, I want to do it sooner rather than later is the work has to be pre-approved. So, you know, coming into the spring season, the last thing you want to do is have somebody dump $30,000 in
Yeah,
their
yeah,
house.
they
They would
get a
qualify to get
chance.
$10,000 back and say, hey, because we
You were late, you
kind of
couldn't get
moved
any.
at a slower pace, sorry. And I mean, you know,
Yeah,
one
I
of
understand.
the, although I do love our state, although a lot of people put it down, one of the wonderful things about Connecticut is they're one of the few states with these programs.
Right.
So if our residents can use them,
Yeah.
I think it's our imperative to make sure they know about them. I mean, like I said, I'm probably the preservation geek on the whole commission. I'm just finding out about it. So
All right.
I just think it's the best thing for our residents. That's part of our job as commissioners. is to help
Completely
our
agree.
residents.
But as I understand your motion, we're not committing the HDC to do anything at this point. You're just exploring the details.
Correct. I just don't want to explore anything for the HCC without the HCC's approval. Does that make sense? I don't want to
The
actually
approval
laterally.
to explore, not to
Correct.
do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
My understanding is the workshop's gonna be to show what's available.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, hey, here's all the programs, here's who you call.
And
here's your
information.
emails, Here's your phone number. Yep.
Yeah, but you can pitch some of the stuff. I mean, you can email all the commissioners information about things like, here's how the workshop would work. Here's some Q&A, here's some.
So we gotta be careful, we email each other, so it's not a meeting. You gotta watch out for that for
Great.
FOI rules.
I know, but it's not, we're not deliberating on anything. You're providing.
If he gives the information to staff and staff sends it.
Correct.
We'll email out.
Or how-
and
you know what,
have it Before the next meeting.
I just, what I'm questioning is a way to digest, for me to digest and read and comprehend stuff better than getting it verbally at the end of
Sure.
the.
No, I'll get it all to staff and it'll be.
So this is fine for deciding if you want to do it and doing motions and stuff, but it's not so fine for thinking about, is this a good idea and should we proceed and how is it going to work?
I'll have it all to them and they'll get it out to us.
I don't know. Sorry, it's my first meeting. I'm the Rube, our new.
No.
newbie,
It's a good point.
Trying to understand
What is this
how to
from?
how to go.
Yeah, it was his copy. It was,
It's not anything that has to go.
No, it's James' copy that he,
It's the black and white one.
it's the black and white one, yeah.
Toss it, or you could have it back. Any other new business?
I had a couple questions as a new person. John talked about already, and maybe the other guys that aren't here will help me with it too, but one is contacting applicants and either to review their application so you understand it better. Like walking by Dunnigan's house, I was wondering, like, can I see the shed? And if he was in the front yard, I would have asked him about, where's the shed going? And is that good or bad?
As long as it's not a meeting,
Or,
like I said, I don't want a bunch of you showing up.
you know what I mean? So there's this idea that, you know, you're only supposed to do your judgment based on what you see in the recorded session. Or can you talk to applicants about what they're
Well, you
doing?
can walk through public ways. So any public way you want to walk around, you can walk around the public way.
Couldn't call them up, for example.
Yeah, I would be careful. about-
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
Right, all right, no, I'm just,
Yeah,
and then the other flip side though is, a lot of times we explain to the applicants the procedure in here, like, you know, what the pre-app, which is a good thing to go do, or how the procedure works, and then they're gonna stop the thing. You can stay if you want to hear it or not hear it. So procedural things to tell people ahead of time, is that also not what to do or to do? or-
Explain it.
My understanding is on just the infant,
Yeah.
total caution. You don't ever want to even have the appearance that you're influenced one or the other outside the meeting. So I think calling or giving advice, just,
Okay.
you agree, Peter, or my,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you want to walk around in the public walkways, you're free to do that.
Right, but you
I
could.
wouldn't, I
direct
wouldn't
them to the
engage them before a
website.
meeting. I wouldn't engage them before a meeting.
Right, got it.
but it is helpful. You could add some information. You could share your observations as a member of the commission, say, I was there and I could see the.
Right.
I've
Side
had
of the
other
house.
meetings, it's like I'm
Walking by him is always a good idea, right? Walking-
so I'll give you a specific example, Ted. When
I'm good with
when
that.
17 Gravel Street was going, it was like all for Facebook, right? And some people that knew I was on the commission would send me, Messenger. yeah, they would say messenger messages. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I would just say, please watch the video. That was my
Right.
response. I would not engage in conversation with it
Okay.
outside the meeting.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, you have it, his next point was about having some explanation of the actual procedures of the hearing.
Right, that's a little different.
Yeah,
But I think that's, you gotta be careful. It doesn't look like you're coaching them to how to get approved. But part of me feels like they don't know there's a handbook. They don't know that it says here, you know, chain link fence is never appropriate. And so if people knew stuff like that, they might change their approach on how they want to solve their
well, part of it is that
problem.
the town is supposed, first, we have a handout of things that we expect
Require.
applicants to
Right.
provide, and then you have someone from the town now supposed to look and talk to the applicants about their initial
Right,
proposal and tell them, well, you can do this, or you can't do that, or
right.
you need to provide more information. There's some questions
Right.
about how efficiently that's presently being done.
Right.
And that's a systemic problem. You can spoon feed them everything and they're still not gonna remember half of it.
Yeah, I know, I get it. And or they say they don't. So, okay. But the other one I was thinking about tonight, we heard from two architects, and actually the first application, those are our architects. So there's a lot of architects talking. Does that mean that commissioners can't use any of those architects on their own home
No,
projects?
not at all. Not at all.
You-
The only thing, if
We're
So you
saying-
you can't sit in on your project.
you use yourself as a conflict of interest, yeah.
But if you're using them, yeah. It doesn't mean you can still sit on other work they do.
well, it probably might be a good idea to recuse yourself.
Okay.
And I mean, if they did it 10 years ago, it
Right,
would
right.
be too much. of it.
Depends how.
You're supposed to
how-
recuse yourself as a conflict of interest or perception of conflict of interest.
Right. All right. All right, good. That makes sense.
Is that it? Any more?
That's it. I'm good.
Any other new business? Then I will adjourn the meeting at 8:15.
Okay.
You guys stayed just because it was fun?
And thank you guys for entertaining all my motions.
Just buy the bill before I shut them down.
Yeah, I just
Oh.
want to just wish
So you
everybody a
just-
very happy
No.
holiday. Be well, be
Merry
safe.
Christmas, Bill.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good
Feel
night.
better.
Christmas, buddy.
I hope so. It's my